All right. What's up, y'all? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Want y'all to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notifications so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos, okay? Now, let's go ahead and get right to this, okay? Now that we're done with the Super Bowl, now we all expected this, which is the GOAT conversation for one Pat Mahomes. Again, I want to send a shout out to Pat Mahomes for a great Super Bowl performance. Now, I did come on record and I said he shouldn't have got the MVP, but he did enough to get it in a lot of people's eyes with the one which I felt like was the most important Super Bowl play, which was the 52-yarder to Hardman. I'll stand on that. But a lot of people felt like the Super Bowl, the touchdown pass was the most important play. You know, it could be argued either way. But nevertheless, he still came out with the victory. And right now, he's off to the greatest start for a QB at age 28, okay? Now, the media, they're disgusted by this. They don't want Pat Mahomes to catch Brady. Let's just call it what it is. I've been on record to say that before. As well as Lamar Jackson, they don't want him to get that shit either. Okay? We got to be real about that. Okay? Not only that, we also have to take into account the clutch gene that Pat Mahomes is already displaying in his young career before the age of 30. People have to understand that Brady was 33 and Montana was 34 when they started displaying certain things. And Pat Mahomes has been doing it in his young career, okay? Now, let's just take into account what Pat Mahomes has to be up against when we talk about a guy like Tom Brady, and being that he's in the GOAT conversation and him to eclipse the GOAT, okay? Because people are going to go by the stats, the numbers, the accomplishments, blah, 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 all right? Now, when you're talking about Tom Brady, okay, we all know Tom Brady has 7 rings. Tom Brady has the most passing yards, which is at 89,214 yards. He has the most passing TDs at 649, and he's won the title in 3 different decades, okay, which shows Tom Brady's being a renaissance man, okay? And not only that, Tom Brady is most in passing and passing TDs. When you talk about the Super Bowl at 3,339, I'm sorry about that, 3,039, and passing TDs, he's at 21. He's got, like I said, 7 chips. He's got 5 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 Offensive Player of the Year. He has the most postseason wins at 35, and he's also got the most postseason passing yards at 13,400, and the most passing TDs at 88. He's also led the league in passing TDs 5 times, and has led the league 3 times in passing yards, okay? So that's what we're working with in terms of, in a lot of people's eyes, and mainly the mainstream media's eyes, in order for Pat Mahomes to be considered the greatest ever. Now, here's where Pat Mahomes falls into that conversation, okay? We already know that talent-wise, Pat Mahomes is head and shoulders above Brady, okay? And I'm talking about from a freak of nature standpoint, him being that athletic, basketball on grass, so to speak, flamboyance, being able to wow the crowd with some of the stuff that he does, and be able to mix it by throwing in the pocket passing, doing it off the run, doing it off the the flick, being able to have that clutch gene too as well, and also being cerebral, as I've said before. Now, I know a lot of people, I get a lot of hits about people saying, oh man, you hate on Pat Mahomes and you boosting up Lamar Jackson. No, it wasn't none of that. I've always given Pat Mahomes his props, but I felt like Lamar Jackson, he didn't quite have the weapons, like I've said before, in order for the media to truly give him his just due, okay, as I've talked about before. And one thing that I have stood on when it came to Pat Mahomes is the fact of how cerebral he was. I said that the last time that I've talked about it, when these guys had faced each other, when I talked about Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes facing each other in the playoffs. But let's talk about the clutch gene first and foremost with Pat Mahomes, okay? Why he's in the GOAT conversation even at the young, ripe age before 30 at 28. All right. Now, he's 3-1 all time when trailing 10 plus points, okay? And he's the only QB in NFL history to be 500 or above when trailing by double digits at any point, okay? Also, you couple that with, his hardware, such as the 3 Super Bowl MVPs, such as the 3 Super Bowl wins, such as the 2 NFL MVPs, okay? And he already had that before 28. And like I said earlier, it took Brady to be 33 to accomplish that, and Joe Montana to accomplish that at 34, okay? A lot of people want to know, has he even hit his ceiling yet? Nah, not yet. Because he's not even close to be considered in his prime yet. Some people might have him at his peak, some people might not. But barring injury, hasn't reached it yet. Okay, he was also Offensive Player of the Year. Okay, he has that on his resume once. Remember Brady, he had that on his resume 2 times, and then on top of that, he's led the league in touchdown passes 2 times, and he's led the league in passing yards by I'm sorry about that, two times, okay? And this is another thing that stands out too as well that we got to realize too, all right? He's second in win percentage all time next to Bart Starr. Bart Starr was at he had a .90 or 900 win percentage, while he's at a .833. Okay, only second. Bart Starr was 9-1 in 10 playoff starts. Mahomes'S is 15-3 in 18 playoff starts. Okay, and see, the thing about it is, when you're talking about that resume at such a young age, he has a lot of time. Now, how long will he play? We don't know. He has stated to the people that he's open to playing until, close to the age of 40. Okay? And that's to keep a watch on it. But as I've said before, okay, Pat Mahomes could walk away today and still be in the GOAT conversation. Now, will people choose him as that GOAT? Shoot, it would be a hell of a debate. But I don't think without question the mainstream media and the majority of the people are going to say Tom Brady. I personally have Tom Brady still as the GOAT. But as far as being in the conversation, you have to put Mahomes in there because of him being a second in win percentage and also having the 3 Super Bowl MVPs too as well before the age of 30. Another thing is that he's went back to back. First team to do that in 19 years, okay? And if they three-peat, he's going to make history again. So that's something more to add to his resume, along with, a Lombardi, along with, possibly a Super Bowl MVP, along with another regular season MVP. And who else knows whatever record that he might accomplish. But me, myself, personally, hasn't quite reached, the GOAT yet, but he is in that conversation. And this is what I love the most, is that the media does not want it. They don't want this to happen. They don't want anybody to catch Tom Brady, their media darling. Now, I got respect for Tom Brady. I don't have anything against Tom Brady. Everybody might classify him as, he's on the other side, and with the whole race stuff and all that other stuff. Man, I never thought about that about Tom Brady. Even as far as the whole cheating situation and stuff like that, I was probably one of the only ones that defended Tom Brady. I mean, look, the man came back that very next year, won a Super Bowl. Then on top of that, people was talking shit about Brady, talking about, oh yeah, well, he can't do without Belichick. Went to Tampa, my squad, got us another Super Bowl win. Okay, so respect to that man. He's not my favorite quarterback, but you have to give respect, and you have to give him his just due. Also, this is also what we got to take into account too. People are missing the fact of the fact that Pat Mahomes right now, all of the stuff that he's making in history, when they were not doing that good in the regular season. I like the fact that Pat Mahomes is still able to go through adversity. Got to remember, he played hurt, just last year. And even a year before that, I think he was playing hurt too, because I think he had hurt his ankle in the game, and still was able to come out there and still be, still was able to show what type of quarterback he truly was, and the value that should be appreciated by Pat Mahomes. Also, I'll go back to the offensive line. Their offensive line has not been that great. It's been very sluggish and stuff. They've also dealt with injuries, and they've took some losses. Especially, the people were saying that once Tyreek Hill went to Miami and they lost a couple other people too as well, they weren't going to be the same. Well, Pat Mahomes, he was able to come out there and do his thing and still show people the complete opposite. Now, look, yesterday I did say what I said. I know a lot of people going to come in there, they're going to be like, oh, straight, you tripping. Talking about Pat Mahomes shouldn't have got Super Bowl MVP. And I'll stand on that. If you don't like that, hey, that's on you. But the reason why I did say that is because the defense was the one that kept them in the game. He won ugly, okay? He won ugly, and he did everything he could to go ahead and get the win. Now, that second half was evidence of him showing his greatness, okay? And listen, that's always been Mahomes' MO, okay? It's not how he starts, it's how he finishes. And he definitely comes in that clutch. He has that clutch factor that a lot of people just don't have. I remember at one point, Russell Wilson, he had that clutch factor. He was doing stuff like that when he played, when they had the Legion of Boom, and then when he was all on his own in terms of the offense and stuff, he would start off real sluggish, and then at the end of the game, Russell Wilson would come through. We're talking about a young Russell Wilson, not an older Russell Wilson. But besides that, man, yeah, the media doesn't want Pat Mahomes to catch Tom Brady in no shape, form, or fashion. But I'm here to tell you, man, he's on that pace. And health is going to be a big factor. Also personnel, too, as well. Now, Kelsey did come out on record, and he said he is going to stay with the organization. He's not going nowhere. They like winning championships and stuff. I'm going to talk about Kelsey a little bit later in the situation with Andy Reid, that whole little mess or whatever. I touched on it briefly and everything, but I'm gonna go more in depth and detail and everything. But yeah, he's in the conversation, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it because he's got my support. Yes, I have been very critical of him, very critical, but he's proven all of the doubters wrong. Okay, so y'all let me know what you think, man. Do you think Pat Mahomes is in that discussion? Do you think that he's already tipped and surpassed Brady as the GOAT, or any of these other quarterbacks who you consider the GOAT? Leave your comments. Make sure you like the video, share, subscribe. Also hit the notifications so that you are notified. Until then, it's straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. I'll get at you later.